Today, let's talk about a true legend, Hakeem Olajuwon. This wasn't just a player who dominated the center position. No, he completely tore up the blueprint and reinvented it from scratch. And that brings us to the one question about Hakeem that still kind of blows people's minds. How on earth did a man that huge, that imposing, move with the fluidity and grace of a ballet dancer? It doesn't seem possible.
Well, the answer was kind of hiding in plain sight the whole time. His nickname. People called him the Dream for a very simple reason. Watching him play felt, well, unreal. His footwork was so liquid, his moves so smooth. It was like something you'd see in a dream.
To really understand Hakeem's genius, you have to start with his signature weapon, the move that absolutely defined a generation of basketball. Let's dive into the legendary Dream Shake.
Okay, but here's the thing. Calling the Dream Shake a single move just doesn't do it justice. It was more like an entire library of fakes, shimmies, spins, and pivots, all rolled into one. Hakeem could read a defender's slightest shift in balance and then, in an instant, pull out the perfect counter move. It left guys completely frozen. It was pure art, and it was basically unstoppable. So where did this completely revolutionary style even come from? You wouldn't find it in any coaching manual. The secret is actually found in his totally unconventional path to the NBA. Get this. One of the most fundamentally sound, skilled big men in the history of the sport did not even pick up a basketball until he was 15 years old. 15! At an age when most future pros are deep into elite training, Hakeem was literally just starting. You really have to appreciate how different his journey was, right? The typical road to the pros is starting super young, focusing on just one sport and grinding out the same old drills. Hakeem's path? It was the complete opposite. A late start built on a foundation of completely different sports, which gave him this unique, almost unorthodox skill set.
So you have this towering guy, 7 feet tall, that's 2.13 meters for our viewers around the globe, but he didn't move like any 7-footer anyone had ever seen. He had the quick, nimble footwork of a soccer midfielder, and that, right there, was his secret weapon.
You see, growing up in Nigeria, his main sports were soccer and handball. Think about it. Both of those games demand constant movement, incredible balance, and super precise footwork. He was, without even knowing it, training his body for basketball agility long before he ever even touched a basketball. And this wasn't just some fun backstory. That unique foundation was the launchpad for one of the most dominant stretches of individual performance the league has ever witnessed. It all came together with the Houston Rockets. In the mid-90s, Hakeem basically put that whole team on his back and willed them to back-to-back NBA championships in 1994 and 1995. It absolutely cemented his legacy. But man, that 1994 season, that was something else. It was just a perfect storm of pure dominance. He won the regular season MVP. He was named the best defensive player in the entire league. And then, just to top it all off, he won the finals MVP, the best player on both ends of the court when everything was on the line. And here's the real kicker. How many players in the entire history of the NBA have pulled that off, won all 3 of those huge awards in the same season? Just one. To this day, Hakeem Olajuwon stands completely alone. And his defensive genius wasn't just a one-season thing. It defined his whole career. I mean, he is still the NBA's all-time leader in block shots, a record that might seriously never be broken. The guy was so dominant, he even recorded a quadruple-double back in 1990, which is just an absurdly rare achievement. But Hakeem's story? Oh, it doesn't just end on the basketball court. His intelligence and his drive translated into massive success long after he hung up his sneakers for good. So first, he fully embraced his new home, becoming a U.S. citizen, and that allowed him to play for Team USA in the 1996 Olympics, where he went and added a gold medal to his insane trophy case. And then came Act 2. After retiring from basketball, Hakeem took that same discipline, that same strategic mind, that same relentless focus, and applied it all to the world of business. I want you to just think about this for a second. He became this incredibly smart real estate investor in Houston, and by all reports, he ended up making more money from his real estate deals than he did during his entire Hall of Fame NBA career. It's just an unbelievable pivot from superstar athlete to business mogul.
So, when you look back at his whole life, his entire story, what's the big takeaway? What's the lasting legacy of the dream?
It really leaves us with this powerful question. In a world that always tells us to specialize early, to focus on one thing and one thing only, Hakeem's career is this shining example of the power of taking a different path. It proves that sometimes the supposed wrong way is the only way that leads to true undeniable greatness.